And yes, we are live excitedly. So we have Kemi. Kemi is live. She's streaming live all the way from this Virginia, right?
Yes,
Aha.
Virginia.
Yes, Kemi is streaming all the way. Because Kemi came to see me all the way from Virginia to Maryland. So I was thinking, is she Maryland? She Virginia? Yes, I remember. She is in Virginia. And Kemi is a masterpiece woman and an inner circle parent. Shout out to you guys, masterpiece women. You guys are
Yeah.
trying to intimidate us on this my intentional parenting journey. You guys should please chill now. It
We
is
can't
not
help it.
Please, you guys should chill. Thank you so much, Kemi, for being here. I really do appreciate you. Kemi is a nurse in the US. She is a mom. She is a ministry. Name it. That busy, busy diaspora mom. I'm sure today she's going to be sharing with us how she's doing it. All right. And of course, how she's able to actually juggle all of it and be able to actually still be that impactful woman that we're seeing there today. Thank you so much, ma'am, for doing this. I know that it is nice in your time. It's only inner circle parents that will, yes, I remember. They'll wake up 3 a.m., 4 a.m. to come and do, like, and they are looking all stitched up. Shout out to you, ma'am. I'm particularly excited this morning, all right, because, different things are this, exciting in the air and all of that. So, yes, over to you, ma'am. Talk to us. How did you get into the yard?
You. Thank you so much, Coach. I really do appreciate this opportunity to share my journey as
Hmm.
a CIP member, as a yada, like we call ourselves, and also a masterpiece. So, Coach, I'm going to apologize on behalf of myself that I will be bringing masterpiece because everything happened to me at the same time. So I would say I stumbled on CIP sometime in during COVID, yes. And everybody was at home then back then, and I was like, how am I going to survive staying at home with these three kids? And I was like, no, it can't be possible. So I was scrolling on the street of Facebook one day, and then I was like, parenting. I said, wow, this is strange. I've never heard it. Considering the fact that you see everything, you see every other thing but parenting. So I was like, okay, let me see. And then I didn't follow, but I was always getting the feeds on my reel. And I was like, okay, okay. But the tips and acts, and I think it was one of the days you were teaching, and then you said free things are just time wasters. I say, hey, this is very powerful. So I told myself, I said, no, she's saying this free thing is not for you. And I told myself, I said, no, this is something I needed to follow through. But sometimes you be arguing with yourself like, do I really need a parent coach? Do I need to be in the parenting system like that? You think that you're doing well, but until you get into there, you're like, oh, I was just messing up, and that was it for me. So I joined. I followed. Coach. I was following you doggedly, like doggedly. I would listen. I'll have everything following, but I was like, I think there's so much more to this I'm hearing about this parenting thing. And I remember one of the days I was praying, I think it was at the beginning of the year, where I was writing just my goals and everything I needed to do. And I was like, God, lead me, help me on this parenting journey, because at a point now, this is going to be very overwhelming, because in the Obodo Imbo, it is a different story entirely. And I can tell you it's quite different where you have a community of people who understand what you want to do. But here it's quite different. And I was like, no, God, I need help. Like I really cried out for help to God. And I said, he directed me back again. I said, you're following somebody. Then that was when coach was now so everywhere on Facebook. I said, no, you just cannot help it. This is God telling you that you have to join. And I remember when I was about to join the yard, I was contemplating. I was like, how am I going to survive? Can I cope? Can I do anything? But I kept telling myself, this is the help you need. This is the help you need. I remember the very first day I made up my mind I was going to pay. I just told my husband, I said, you know what? I'm going to pay. At this point, I give up. I give up this my eye horse. I come down from the eye horse. I'm just going to go in there and learn like a baby. And coach, I don't even know how to say it again. My own has even passed. I relearned, I unlearned. It was just a game changer for me. I just blessed the day I finally yielded to the nudging of the Holy Spirit to pay. And since then, since 2022, coach, I've been here, oh, and I'm still here. And like Flava said yesterday, she said something. It is a year-round school for me, so I'm not going anywhere. There's even nowhere to go, actually, because there's no space outside more anymore. So you just have to be in here. So it's just been a journey of following, but there's so much more inside. There's so much more inside the yard. And sometimes my husband will just be hearing and be like, okay, coach is doing a lot of things in your life over, like you don't get it. There's so much that is happening in the yard. And every member of my family, all of us, and my children, all of us are yarders, all of us. I can tell you that everything is just top notch. Like we're doing everything, but we are still struggling. No, it's not like we're there perfectly. But I can tell you, coach, that being a yarder is something else. If want to even start about masterpiece, that one happened to me, and my life has never remained the same again, like again and again and again and again. And I want to say thank you, Ma, for allowing us into your space, because a lot of us have encroached. You don't even have any space anymore, coach. You don't have any space anymore because what some of us are living in your head already without you knowing, Ma.
Thank you so much. We have Oluwakemi Okegbenro. This is so interesting. So I was in the US in June, and she and her husband drove miles and miles and miles. You know that in the actual, for those who live in diaspora, you know what it is that someone drives miles to come and see. They spent the day. In fact, they came. I wasn't around. They waited. They were, in fact, they spent the whole day. I was like, Pastor, you had to actually stay. He said, coach, you are going to say, but they spent the whole day. They were not about to go. We were, in fact, we spent an amazing time. And it's so interesting to be speaking to Kelly again. And I look forward to also still spending more time with them. It's so amazing. So you're listening to Kemi. Kemi is an intentional parent. She said she joined the Intentional Parent Academy Inner Circle program in 2022. She had found out right about the inner circle. And of course, she was one of those people that the Holy Spirit chased in. I told you that the Holy Spirit is my own protocol officer. Right? He's the one that goes to people to say, I plug you into the inner circle now. So, even if we end up not doing any form of marketing, trust me, we're going to have marketing on steez by the Holy Spirit himself. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us. And thank you for taking out your time. It's 3 a.m. in Kemi's time, and she's here live talking and speaking with us. We do appreciate you. So talk to us. This is where the main conversation gets in and gets hot, right? And I know that Kemi has a lot to say. I know because I've spent time with her. And talk to us. What will you say that the inner circle has done for you? Now, when I say what will you say, I'm talking about you taking it from any angle. Your children, your career, because I know that you're a practicing nurse, your ministry, your impact journey, your relationship, angle you want to take it, your marriage. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you so much, coach. Seriously, this time is never going to be enough to tell you how much of a great impact TIP has been in my life. I want to first say, first of all, TIP, I joined this yard for myself. So I am that child that has been parented again. So very first thing I heard when I came into the yard was parenting is about you. I didn't understand it the very first time. I was like, I came here for help. I came here to get knowledge. And then you're saying this about me. As in, how does that work? But I did not realize that until the second month. And I was like, wow, I don't even have anything I want to say that I know. Coming from a standpoint of being parented, I had my back growing up. my mom and my dad, they were together, but you weren't even sure of if you were even parented at all. I wasn't even sure if I was parented, but I just knew that I just existed. But however, I knew there was so much more that I could get as a child. But you can't question. We couldn't question anything anyway. But not like now where the children are even questioning you, like why. So we couldn't do all of that back then. So when I got married and I said joining the therapy, I said parenting is about me. By the second month, I realized I said, no, let me even leave my children to the side. My children will be okay. Let me be parented. So I automatically just became your daughter coach, first of all. So I was the one that you were parenting. So you were my mother in the yard. So me, I was just a child that was being parented again. And it took a place of relearning. It brought about so many things that I had always overlooked about myself, that I had to sit down, like introspect, and sat down like, no, there's so much that you need to drop down. And I remember telling myself one of those days that I had promised myself I was going to do better than my parents, but I didn't have a structure. I didn't even know how I was going to do it. Not until I came into the yard and I said, wow, this is me being parented. So the first year was about me. So my children were okay, very okay. I was not even particular, but I was about myself being reparented again. And I was like, wow, if this thing can change me, can change my perspective about life, then I can imagine what it is going to be doing in my life. And then that same year again, my husband and I, we joined the couples conclave. That one transformed our marriage, like boom, boom, boom. It transformed everything. So it was just like an holistic thing. So it's just like coach became that person that was every corner of our home. Like it was everywhere. And I was like, wow, this is it. So for me, it was me being reparented again the very, very first year. And I'm truly grateful to God about that. So by the second time I was coming in again into the yard, I was like, okay, now begin to implement some of the things that you had learned as a new child. So I see myself as a child that was being reparented, not even a parent anymore. So because I didn't even have anything to parent for me, I thought I had. Trust me, I didn't have anything. I didn't have anything. All I had was just the word of God. But there was no structure to the words. Everything was just scattered. I was just like everywhere. But I drew the structure, and the structure stood, and I was like, okay, yes, now we begin to run. And coach, we're still running, we're still running. In fact, we have not even started running. We are still doing on your marks, but we are moving. And that's one of the things I want to say about me, first of all. And then for my children, whew, coach, there was a story I told you about my last baby. And I told you how he was exposed to screen. And 2 years of my life it was something else. It was something else. I must tell you the truth. Like it was back to back. I was days I would cry because there was no structure. I didn't even know what was going on. This boy was non-verbal for years. Nobody had told us there was anything like screen notice. It was so bad. And then he got to school. I was like, what's going on? This boy doesn't talk. We felt, okay, well, he's going to talk. At first, we were thinking it was a language barrier because we were speaking the regular Nigerian English. And then we were thinking, okay, maybe that was just one of the reasons. But we didn't even know that this guy, his exposure to screen at an early age had caused a lot of things in his life. So I said, wow. My son started elementary school, and it was like every day you're waiting for them to give you a call from school, like, hey, come get your son. And literally, it was like I was living in the school with him just to manage him. And I remember one of those days I told my husband, I said, we're going to, as in today, coach has said no screen again. My husband at first he didn't understand why no screen. Because like, what screen to do with this boy? I said, no, we're not doing screen, at least 4. Let's see how we can manage this boy. And this was a boy that we're thinking that, this boy is not, how is he going to cope? How is he going to, social skills was zero, no social skills. That's for my last baby. I didn't have issues with my 2, but I'm going to come to them just to explain to you that everything, you touched every part of our lives. And it's something I can never be. as I can never be so thankful to you, more than what I'm as a coach. If I have everything, I'll give to you because you have helped me. You have helped my family. You have helped me parent. Now I'm seeing my children like there's an X-ray in the house showing me, and but every one of us, there's this connectivity amongst us. This was the boy that I thought that, oh, how are we going to help him? It was even hard for me to even help him because I didn't even have the tools, the resources to help this boy. Not until I joined the inner circle. And I was here, I was like, well, I can help this boy. Coach, I just dropped down. I dropped down my busy schedule. I say, "Yeah, if I don't pay my hard now, I'm going to pay the hard much later, like you would say." And I say, I choose my hard now. Let me choose this hard and love my hard at this time. Today, coach, I can tell you, this boy can label his emotions fluently. He is doing excellently well. Like when I say excellently well, he is, and I'm like, wow, you're doing amazing. And he's like, yeah, I can do it, mommy. I can do it, mommy. So the confidence has come in him. And I'm like, I didn't even do much, oh, but it was just because I was able to connect with his needs. And boom, here we are for him. So I want to say that I just to put it out there, anyone who's exposing their children to screen, I want to beg you, please, you don't need it. Not even in the country like this. And the truth is, they would even help you help your son, help your child more. If you get what I mean, I'm just being sarcastic here, but you help your child more. But it's better you just pay the hard now. It's not going to cost you anything. It's just for a few years of their life. And once they are used to it, now my kids are used to there's no, in fact, there's TV all over the house, but sometimes we don't even put it on because we are all used to that now. And then coming to my is a teenager now. At first, I didn't really understand. There was no connection with the kids. But one of their tools that coach you asked us to do one time was where you said there was a tool that you asked us to do that really connected me more with my kids. And it was where we said where there was a tool that we said we should write letters to each other. That was the tool that broke the camel's back. My kids poured out their hearts in that letter. And I read those letters and I was crying. Like, oh my God. My daughter was the one that shocked me. She was more like the calmest, and then you would have thought that, oh, everything is okay with her. And when she was like, Mom, you work so much. Oh my God, coach, that was it. I said, wow. So these kids really needed attention, but I was just ignorant. I was someone I didn't even see their need for that. And I said, you know what? Don't worry, we'll deal with the situation. And actually, we dealt with that situation. So in terms of all of that, it has helped. TIP is a one-stop shop. You want to buy leg, you will get leg. You want to buy head, you as in you want to buy baby, but you will see there. You want to get calmness, you will come get it there. You want to buy, you will see it affects every area of your life. I don't know if anybody has said it affects every area of your life. Every area. I went for an interview one time like that, and while I was talking, I said something that I was like, I've learned emotional intelligence and I've learned not to bleed on anybody. And then the interviewer looked at me and like, oh, you're the one we need. And I'm like, yeah, I'm the one you need. And I'm like, and after the interview, she wrote a long mail to the director, and the lady called me and said, whoa, she likes you. And I'm like, I don't even know her. And she was like, let me show you all the things she said about you. I said, wow, this is what CIP has done to my life. For me, that I'll be very quiet. I was like, I don't like stress. But I didn't know that was trauma rubbing off on me. But I was able to heal from all those things. And I'm like, you know what? I got it and I'm going to say it. Whatever it is, I know I'm going to say it and I'm going to let it out. So it just changed my life. Now, coming to ministry, I used to read Bible. No, I used to read Bible, coach. I used to read Bible. Yes, that's that. I'm going to say that I used to read my Bible very well. I'm a very, very, very good student of the Bible, but I did not used to go inside. I was the Bible reader, but I was not an inside Bible reader. And you know, you'll be teaching webinars and you'll be bringing out scriptures. I'll be like, where are these things in the Bible? Are you sure these things are in the Bible? So I'll go back again after. I am a replay. I love replays. In fact, my ears are always full of. Sometimes your voice is ringing in my head every minute. I'll go back and check the replays again. I'm like, which version of the Bible is this one from? And then it just sparked off this interest in the Word of God for me, and it has helped me. Now, ministry-wise, we got to this country, and then my husband and I were privileged to begin to serve under a commission. And you know, you would think that okay, it's going to come easy. It doesn't come easy. You have to learn. You have to learn. You have to put structures in place, and being able to manage the church, the ministry, the assignment, my home, and everything. People were like, how do you do it? I don't even know. I just know that it's grace, but there's a structure. Having put structures in place, it has helped me to begin to manage my time very well. I have learned essentialism. I'm not everywhere, but I'm everywhere. I'm able to put things in perspective. So it's just an all-round thing. All round thing. I remember there was something my husband said to you when we were at Maryland, and you laughed your heart out. I was like, Coach does not understand. We cannot finish talking about this thing, Coach. We cannot. We cannot. My children hold me accountable. Sometimes I would do something. My children were like, Mommy, Coach Wendy said. And I'm like, no, she's not your coach. She's my coach. She's my teacher, not your teacher. I am your teacher. Coach is my teacher. But it is helping me to stay accountable. Before
Mm,
now, I was one of those like, no, it has to be my way. Which way? And these kids will question like, what about if we do it this way? What about if we do
mm,
it? But we weren't see, I wasn't seeing it that way. So TIP has helped me. Calm, coach. Don't let us even go into the yelling. I was a yellow meter. There was no meter to read my own yelling. There was no meter. When you did it, when we had women, I was like, hey, coach does not even know that there are some people that they've yelled, meters even broke, like error loading data. Nothing again. The meter is broken. That was how I was. But now I just come in and I'm like, okay, let's do it. And the kids now understand, my children now understand that, okay, mommy doesn't want to raise her voice, but she's saying something. So we're able to understand each other better. In terms of my career, it is helping me. Before I couldn't speak up to say some certain things. I'll be like, oh no, I don't want stress. But right now, I don't really want stress, but I communicate effectively. I'm able to analyze things. I'm able to see things from different perspectives. And I'm like, you know what this is? And people are like, how did you get to know Kemi? I'm like, I just know. You don't know. I just know. But it is TIB that has helped. Am I saying that people somebody might say, oh, I used to be very okay before joining therapy. My dear, all of us were very okay before. Very, very okay before. Very okay. But you know when you now come inside therapy, you now understand that okay is not okay. You need the very okay to be okay in CIP. Thank you, Ma.
Wow, 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 wow. You're listening to Oluwakemi. And yes, Oluwakemi is one of the youngest I have been privileged to stay to it. I spent a whole day, a whole full day. I remember, as she was talking the things that her husband said that day, I laughed. We spent quite a time and, sat down, had conversation, had, a lot to talk about. And it's so interesting to even hear the parts of our story that I haven't heard before. And that's one of the things that I love about my intentional parenting journey. You hear, the parts that you haven't heard, the part that you even if you know the person, I have so my friend, it was my friend Antetima that was saying, so this is what it is that TIP did for me. I was like, really? Shane, I was always sharing. I was like, really? This will be my very close friend, and I'm wondering, really? Really? As in, where it came to me like, oh, really? Is it not this person I'm here with now? And all of that. So you don't even know how much it is that everybody is able to get out of it. Let me said something about scream. let me say this. If your child isn't speaking, your child is 3, 2, 1, whatever, 4, dada, la da da da, cartoon. It's one of your biggest, greatest undoing. You see this? My child will just be on, I'm just busy. I'm busy. Let them just watch TV. You're destroying that child.
Yeah.
Literally. There is no other way to say. And it's going to come back to you. It is going to come back to you. And for parents who live in diaspora, I travel a lot. I remember the last time that I was in the US before this year. I think that was last year. I was having a conversation with someone whose child, was just neck deep inside TV. Of course, because there's a lot of work to be done. Yeah, you need to work 24 hours to be able to be alive, according to you people, right? But and all of the things that I hear, right? But of course, I was trying to talk to this person, and I was saying, you will need to step back, you will need to find out, you need to do something. And it didn't look like the message went in, so it was fine. This year, the school has started to write every single day, we have a problem in our hands.
Yeah.
We have a problem in our hands. This guy can't communicate. This guy can't learn. This guy can't focus. This guy, and then he runs back to me this year. And this was 2 years ago that I said this.
Wow.
I said to him, I wish you had just listened to that voice when he came. All I needed you to do was to just listen to that instruction. Sometimes, many times, we actually have a problem with people telling us this is the right way to go, because we constantly think that we know what we're doing. And that's also because of the rebellion of how we were raised. We were raised with so much, they told us to do everything. Yeah. So now we're rebelling. Like, why must you tell me to do something? So there's a rebellion that is going on about instruction. So we resist learning. We resist instructions. We resist it. No, it's not in our making. It's part of our trauma. It's part of it. I was teaching yesterday, and I was teaching at the dealing with sibling rivalry, and I said to them, I said, all of us are coming from a lot, including me. So don't think that your lot is more than my own. All this, coach, your life is better. My life is not better. It's just that I've made a choice. I have made a choice to actually change the trajectory of my life. So if you're listening to me, you have younger children, run and come and learn. Because the truth of the matter is, you will wait and say, oh, it's going to come, I'm going to be all right. You will not be all right. And I can assure you that you will not be all right when the storm comes. And Kemi was saying something when she was talking. She said, during that tool, one of my children said, you work a lot. Now, this will be one thing that parents in diaspora will battle with their children. That will be a standard case. So many times when parents in diaspora, especially in the inner circle, will say, so what do I do? This is what is happening to me. I'm going to allow Kemi to answer that question, because I know that she's been there, and she has been able to make a choice, and she's been able to also do something. And she said something. She said, I am everywhere, but I'm not everywhere. I do everything, but I'm not everywhere. I think that's the word. Because when you are able to understand essentialism, when you're able to understand the urgency of what it is that you're doing part-time, when you are able to understand what it is, what you give, there's a time where you get to your parenting, you start to bawl, literally. As in, like, you have done the work, you literally start to bawl. And you're not watching the work you've done come back to you. Sometimes the twins are the ones teaching my husband and I. So you guys, that's the way they say. So you guys, let me tell you guys how this thing is actually going to go. It's because your time management. I will look at my son teaching me about time management. This is someone that will took us 10 years to be able to get him to actually manage his time. And then he sits and then he tells me, this is how I manage my time in school. Remember, I'm a time manager in school. This is what I do. And this guy, hey, woman, this is what I do for a living. So it's my turn to teach you how you're going to navigate your life, And so you get to actually get to that point. So Kemi, people are listening to you now. They live in diaspora. Actually, and I love that you're a medical practitioner. So it makes it really beautiful, because most people will have quite a number of medical practitioners in the inner circle, or incoming yarders, or people who are listening to us, who live in diaspora, who are thinking, this inner circle thing, I work for 24 hours. Where do I find the time to actually begin to do the things that I need to do? Kemi, how were you able to navigate that phase of your life?
All right, thank you so much, Coach. And I think it still brings me back to that word you use, essentialism. I had to choose what was essential for me. I had every option of working as much as I wanted to. Trust me, and nothing will happen. However, but I it was when I realized that I might not have this my children are not going to be at this stage of their life all the days of their lives, and I needed to key into this season of their life. And I think what even broke the camel's back was listening to Coach Omolola talk about the seasons of life. That day I was literally cooking. It was like weeks after my daughter had written that letter. I was cooking. I just dropped everything I was cooking. I was like, ah, this is what I've been looking for. It was just like the light bulb moment for me. I just dropped the food. I said, you know what, today I'm breaking that course that says that you must work around the clock. No way, it's not me anymore. I choose my children over working. Now, am I saying that it is very easy? No, it's not. It is not easy. And so since I realized that this is one battle that I had to face myself, in the sense that you have bills to pay, you have everything. I had to cut down on a lot of things. Seriously, coach, I had to cut down. I had to tell myself, these children, let me just even help these guys to the point where I know that, yeah, coach, there's time for me to work. Oh. Very soon, I can walk round the clock. It's
Mm,
just a matter of time. It's just
mm,
a matter of time. So I had to choose my heart very well. Like, so listening to that season of life told me that no, there's a season where I had to drop down. There's a season when I had to drop. I literally dropped down. Like, I was like, no, I cannot keep doing it. Hearing my daughter tell me that was heavy for me. I couldn't even bring I don't think I would have been able to bring myself to tell my parents that. But then she telling me that, I said no, I needed to step down. So it was something my husband and I had to just sit down and agree on, like, you know what? This is it. It's not like I'm staying off work completely, but I'm going to cut down. And we all are going to cut down. And we had this conversation with my kids, like, it's not going to be as usual anymore, just so I can have time. And it has helped me. And trust me, coach, when I now signed up for Masterpiece, I now said, hey, this is what to do when you don't know what next to do. So Masterpiece for me was what to do when I didn't know what next to do. So
mm,
having cut down, I needed something to do. And so it was just like boom, every Masterpiece just changed it just changed that trajectory of my life. So I knew what to do at that instant. I said, you know what, this is the jackpot. And I
mm,
began to run. Now, am I there yet? No. Have I dropped down? Have I still dropped? Yes, I've dropped down. And I'm not, in fact, I don't even feel bad about it. I'm so happy because I'm able to be here for my children. I'm able to connect with them. What if I was not here? How would my son be able to be topping A's in his class? Mind you, my
mm,
two older kids are like they are the honor roll. Not because I don't even let them even. I don't even put that in their head that you're A. If you get A, by all means, thank God. If you don't get A, you're okay. Because we had to sit down, like, it's not about your grades. I want to raise you as thinkers. I want to raise you as responsible people that would, one, fear God, and people that would understand that they have a purpose on it. So you're not just here to make merry or anything. We're here to work. So I dropped down. So all of us are in it together. But thank God for the kind of husband that. So it don't, you see, that's where couples conclave now also come in again. Marry right. Because if you don't marry right, it is well. But I'm just saying that on the side because it will help. Both of you will be able to understand that we are on a
mm,
mission that is not going to be a forever thing. Season of my life, there's going to be, and I keep telling myself, and that's why I get my consolation. Like, I'm in a season, and this season is going to end someday. And when it ends, you'll be running after me, you not catch me. That is the level I am. You'll be run because I understand the seasons I'm in. So managing all of that, and that's why I would also say that the financial trauma class again is something everybody. So if you're not in the inner circle, you see, I'm saying all of these things now. They are entering each other. The reason I'm saying all this is just so that you know that you don't just make decisions without a structure.
Mm.
So if I tell you now that, oh, I cut down, you don't know
Mm.
where I'm coming from. I
Mm.
can tell you I've cut down because I have listened to seasons of life.
Mm.
I've listened to creating a family structure. I've
Mm.
listened to discipline. I've listened to different webinars. I've listened to creating a social roadmap for my kids. I've listened to how to raise them to be independent thinkers. I've listened to that. So I have been able to put all of these things together, one here, one there, and then form that structure. So I can now sit down and say, yes, I've cut down. No, it's not
Mm.
going to be that bed of roses like it used to be, but it is a phase of my life. And that's where I am right now. But am I having fun? By all means, I'm having fun, coach. Like Masterpiece has even given me peace. See, there's not nobody has died though. Since
Mm.
nobody has
Mm.
died. Not and nothing has changed.
Mm.
Nothing has changed. Nobody has died. We are moving, and that's what matters most.
Amazing, amazing. And you have Oluwakemi Okegbenro sharing her journey of my intentional parenting journey. Did you hear that? So, I hear the things that you don't just, hear it. I like hear that. We speak in between the lines. We speak it in between the lines. Kemi said, you don't make decisions without a structure. If you do, it will crumble. You don't make decisions without, and that's why most of our decisions fail, because most of our decisions are made without structures. So we just make decisions in the air. I want to stop working too much so that I can have time with my children. Oshe, how does it happen? That's the conversation. So that decision is beautiful. The intention is amazing. Everything about it is nice, is the way to go. But then what? How do you get there? When you make decisions without structures, it crumbles. And that's why most of us wake up on the 1st of January of every year and create New Year resolution that never pass the next 2 days. By the 3rd of January, you've even forgotten you had resolutions, because there is no structure to actually be able to deliver on what it is that you intend to do. Intentions are beautiful. I want to raise children that are good. I want to raise amazing children who impact their world. The question is how, when, how do you get there? And that is very key. Your decisions without informed structures would actually really crumble. You're listening to Oluwakemi Okegbenro, and she's streaming live all the way from Virginia, United States of America. It is 10 a.m. after 3 a.m., right? 3 a.m. at time, going to 4. And she's here looking all teased up. Like you're wondering, is the morning? And I know how I've worked up in the US before, of course. Working in the US with the Nigerian time can actually be a whole lot. I have done that quite a number of times. And I know it can be, you see us at 4 a.m. and you're thinking, it's morning and you're okay. No, you're not. You're just waking up. Yeah, it's in the night. People are sleeping, but you're shut here, somehow. And thank you really for sharing that. So, of course, she was sharing about how can you manage being a working mom or a working parent. You live in the US, you live in the UK, you live in Canada, you live in Australia, whichever way. And it was beautiful. Coach Omolala talked about the seasons of life. One of the things you should look out for is the seasons of life in the inner circle when you come in. Coach Omolala talked about the seasons of life. Coach Omolala is a medical doctor who lives in diaspora, who lives in Australia. So, it was even easy for her to correlate, bring a lot of perspective to bear, and make it really work. She had to drop out of practice, for her. That's Coach Omolola. At the point where she is. And she says, see, it is my season. I'm owning it. I'm putting it. All right. I'm
Yeah.
putting it all, together. And it's one of the things that it's done a whole lot, for me. So, and Kemi is saying, don't listen to me and run and go and say I have cut down. There are structures you need to be able to build it. And that's what we're sharing with you. Those structures are right in the inner circle. She said, I have listened to a lot of webinars I've listened to this one. You have a webinar teaching the skills of extra. Oh, more inner circle parents. Are you even ready for it? Are you guys even ready? If you attended that webinar last year, stay a year. And
And
if you think that attending it last year meant anything, wait for it. I see you. All right. So of course, that's what we're sharing here. And Kemi, it's also sharing with us how she was able to get to a point where she and her spouse were able to walk on the same table, right? Kemi is also a member of the couples conclave, the marriage still academy by the governor. And it was Pastor, that's her husband, who was sharing with me. And he said, you don't know what that did to us. He changed our lives. Those were his words. He said, this man took his whole day and sat with me. That should have told you that this thing actually he hit some chords, honestly. And really, I am really, really, really I'm grateful for you both. All right, so share with us, ma'am, what would be your top 3 webinars? Why would they be your top 3 webinars?
okay. Thank you, Ma. Thank you so much, Coach. Thank you. All of the webinars are my top. So, but I'm just going to, I say I'm coming from plenty. You don't even get the Coach. So, all of the webinars are my top. But my first webinar will be, and that one gave me a sense of urgency to run. And it came from one of the stories that you had shared, Coach, about a mom that that had a diagnosis, and she was given a time to leave. And I was like, oh my God. And knowing that, she began to run. Just imagine the race she should have run for like a lot of time. She ran it within that short space, and she was able to achieve. And so that put into perspective this webinar I'm going to mention. It's positioning yourself as a destiny helper. That
Mm,
webinar. As a child of God, like as a Christian, someone who's in ministry, you hear these words, and then all you think is your destiny helper is going to come from somewhere. I realized that I'm the destiny helper of my children. And so I had to position myself. So I had the advantage of being the very first person they would ever meet in their lives. So
yeah.
it was a webinar that sat me down and said, you need work to be done. So
Mm,
that webinar changed things in my life. So I see my children now as my Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his
mm,
righteousness, and every other thing will be added unto you.
mm,
So they are
mm.
my first souls. And I tell them, you are my first souls, and you will reach out to the billions. So all of us together, our souls will be in billions and millions. So I am not limiting myself to anything. They are first my assignment. They're my souls, and I must win them to God. So I
Yeah.
had to position myself, and in winning souls, it should just be wrong for me to say, okay, I'm just going to teach them the word of God. Yes, I'm teaching them the word of God. I'm also teaching them things that would help them grow in life. So I that webinar for me was a game changer. And then the next one was creating a social roadmap for a Gen Z. A coach, no social skills, forget it. We didn't have it. But that I saw the need for me. And when you brought this story of the paralytic friend, I've never forgotten. As I will never forget, and have never forgotten. And I was like, wow, Kemi, who are your roof tearing friends? And the race I started, I was not even social road mapping for my children anymore. I was social road mapping for myself. So I was the Gen Z that needed a social roadmap, first of all, because I
Mm,
needed to build that community of roof tearing friends. I needed it because I was like, what if I was that woman that was given a time to live? Would
mm,
anybody understand the structure that I'm building for my children? Would anybody be able to continue on this journey with me, with my
mm,
children, even if I'm not there?
mm,
So
mm.
it was for me first. That webinar was for me first. So I started engaging. I was like, okay, everybody, there's no time. There's no time for us here in the US. That's what they say. There's no time. But I had to, out of no time, begin to now decide, like, okay, I can sift through you. And that's where the spirit of discernment came. And I learned that in Masterpiece. Every woman needs the spirit of discernment. Oh my God, you need it. You need it to thrive. You need it to know when to move. You need it to know when not to move. So,
Mm.
with that spirit of discernment at work, because I'd already always been praying for that spirit of discernment. So, hearing that social roadmap, I said, I know, spirit of discernment, awake now in the name of Jesus and begin to look for the roof tearing friends. And now I'm able to now decide, okay, yeah, this is what, and I'm consciously building my life and my children's life around them, just so that they know that this is how we do it and this is the structure we're putting in place. And then the next webinar for me is time management. Time management, essentialism. Very important, essential. We are time managers now. I don't waste my time. Before I I wasn't really bad, but I was not there. But now I'm able to, like, okay, I'm ready, do this. Essentialism. I'm not wasting my time doing anything. Before, I could not say no to several things because I'll be
Mm.
like, oh, I don't want to hurt people's feelings. Oh, that was trauma. When the day I learned it was trauma, I say, hey, God, have mercy on this trauma. And that's why I said, Coach, all of the webinars are okay for me. I don't even have top three because if I bring healing from childhood trauma, that one is another case entirely. That was another case. I had to heal from a lot of hurts. I remember that was one of the days you said we should connect with our kids, telling them about some of the things that we've been through because that way it will help us heal. And then I remember talking to my kids and they were looking at me like, Mommy, so you had all of these things inside of you. I said, my dear, I didn't know that I had it inside. Not until I listened to the healing from childhood trauma. So time management for me was just top for me. I don't want to talk about all these other webinars. Everything it had some code. So I think you should not be asking us top three.
I should
Just
start. I should stop asking the question top
don't
three.
ask top three. Just tell us all the webinars. We will give it to you back to back. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. That's how you know the others in the front. They want to name all the webinars. Like this guy, they want to tell you, I have attended all. This, what are you talking about? I know everything. I want to bring it out for you. You're listening to Oluwakemi all the way from the US, and she's sharing on my intentional parenting journey. She said something really very profound. She said, yes, you see, I'm able to actually now look at myself. I love how she started. She said the way she interpreted parenting is about me was that she actually looked at herself and said, okay, if it's about me, that means I need to reparent myself. And for me, joining the inner circle was reparenting myself. And I needed to actually reparent myself. And that was a game changer for me. And she said, that was it. And that's why when she was sharing about creating a social roadmap for your Gen Z, in fact, that's Coach Omolola's best webinar of all times. Best webinar. In fact, I remember that Coach Omolola is there. I remember that when I shared, Coach Omolola, what time is it in your time zone? She's in Australia. Coach Omolola will not miss a class, no matter the time. I don't know. I don't know how it is. We'll have you need to come and have a webinar for us on it, right? So, I remember when I finished teaching that class many years ago. I think about 3 or 4 years ago, it was Coach Omolola who, sent me a message and said, you know what, Coach, I want to book a session with you for 1 year. I said, what's happening? I want to walk through this webinar, dissect it to the end. And I was like, okay, what's the issue? Like, and for her, she says that that's where her journey began.
Yeah.
Being able to break that webinar, being able to actually dissect it one step after another. And, that was the opening up. That was it. That was, all of it, for her.
Yeah.
And of course, Coach Omolala has been a gather since the very first time Inner Circle was announced on planet Earth. And she's still here. Of course, shout out to her, Coach Omolala of the Seasons of Life, right? And okay, Coach Omolala says it's 3:50 p.m. my time. Awesome. And really, if you're listening to one of the things that the webinars in the Inner Circle does for you, it puts perspective to many things. The things that you don't know, the things you know that you think you know. According to it was Flavie that said, you know it, but you're not doing it. That means you don't know it. Because the result of knowing it is that you have done it and we can see the result. But you're claiming you know it. Somebody will predict it and say, this thing I know it. So show working. And we see how it is that you know it. And and that's actually really an interesting part of the conversation. All right. So one of the things that happens in the inner circle, I like the way that Kemi says this. She said the yard. All right. One of the
Oh
things
my
she's the one person I heard say that thing. I was sitting with her. She was like, coach, when you come into the yard, I'm like, okay. I'm sure she's laughing. She never heard me say this before to her before. And yes, that's the way she actually says it. And if you listen to her.
oh
All
my
right.
God.
And who else enjoyed Kemi speaking? I really, really enjoy her voice. She has a very nice way of serenading you. All right. Yeah, that's just how the thing. Of course, you know that I love that. Just somehow. All righty. So, of course, we're listening to Kemi share her journey. And do you want to share with us one book that made a change in your life in the inner circle?
Okay. Discipline that works. Discipline is not an emergency. I
Mm,
was I was one Connect to Correct. Yeah, Connect to Correct is the best. That was the very first book I ever read in the yard. But Discipline That Works, that one just knocked my head like this, doing, because I was one person that on the spot I would react. But I realized when I read the book, coach said discipline is not an emergency. I said, hey, nobody died. Here, if anything happens, they just say, yeah, call 911. But nothing happened. I said, so now I should be able to stay calm. So I would say that book for me. And then when I now read Yelling to Calm, so I now understood discipline. I understood discipline that works the first time. But I now realize that the reason why I am yelling is because I think everything is an emergency. So
mm,
I needed to, first of all, be calm through situations,
mm,
understand what's going on before you react. So discipline that was just simmered me. So now I'm just like, sometimes my children will just, I'm like, you don't know anything. Thank God for coaching your life. People will know. So and my kids will be like, mommy has changed. One of these days, my kids told me that, mommy, when you used to yell there, we just zone off. Oh. We know we're not even hearing you anymore. I said,
wow.
are you kidding me? I'll be yelling at the top of my voice, like I'll be
Mm, mm.
they told me, I said, mommy, we've zoned off. I said, whoa. So you guys will zone off and you not even tell your poor mom and say, mommy, we've zoned off. You get down from where you're yelling. Oh. And I was like, oh my God, just see how we've been messing ourselves up, yelling for nothing. And they'll be
Mm.
staring at you like, what's wrong with that?
What's wrong with you?
Like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? And
Mm.
sometimes I'm talking, my kids will just be like, mommy, you're yelling. I'm like, I'm not yelling. No, that's where I talk with. They say, I know. You're yelling. You're yelling. So if what I used to do, that means they didn't even see that as yelling. They saw me as shouting. I
Mm,
wasn't yelling. But
mm.
me, I would think that I'm like, so I'm talking normally, ordinarily, talking quietly. They'll say, mommy, you're yelling. I'm like, I'm not yelling. No. So I was like, so those days I was even, so they would just look at me like, mommy, you don't get it. I don't get it. But now I get it. I don't yell. I'm just like, I'll just talk. I'm like, okay, oh. That kind of simmer. You know that something is telling you that you are accountable for yelling. So if you yell, they just look at you like, they don't know what you way. So you be like, you working the butt. Now we understand. So they know that I'm not yelling. They know I'm not yelling. They just know that African moms, their voices are loud.
That's how I talk kind of thing. I'm
Yeah,
not
they
yelling.
just
That's
know
how I talk.
that.
And that's how we insist it. That's how I talk. And that's how I am. The killer of all things. That's how I am. Why do you want to be like that? And when you were talking about yelling, I remember that, my son would say, once your voice rises, it's as if you're doing da 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 da. I can't hear you again. I'm like, she, you cannot hear. He said, actually, I can't hear. Once he passes first, talk, you've said it one, you said it. Yeah, in fact, once he even enters repetition, because he's a kinesthetic learner, he has shut you out completely.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
he's just there. He can't hear you. And when people say to me that, oh, your children will not listen except you yell. It cracks me up. Like they are actually not listening at all
They're
while
not.
you're they're actually not listening at all while you are yelling. All right. Calm all the way down, as in all the way. I had to teach myself how to calm all the way down. Nobody died. When I say some of these things to inner circle parents, these are things I say to myself. And as I keep saying that, you see, all of us are coming from where we're coming from. We're all coming from a lot. And if you're not able to do, you know, a lot of work on ourselves, we're going to remain in that space where we are going to constantly, continually, just be there and just tell ourselves, no, we're okay. It was when Kemi was talking, she said, you will just tell yourself, hey, I'm okay now, I'm okay, there's nothing wrong with me. There's everything wrong with you. Now, when I see people yelling, I'm like, is this person mad? As I actually literally look at you. I was having a conversation, right? I'm coming from a home of yelling, right? And my dad was, a chronic yeller. So I started yelling on my journey. And of course, that's what made me right from yelling to calm. I walked on my journey. And today I'm able to actually become that calm parent. So I still have a brother who yells. And I was having a conversation with him. And then he threw off, and yelled. At the time I thought he was mad. I'm not joking. because See, just because he was my elder brother, that's the only reason. Let me lower my voice because I don't know whether he's watching me. Just because he was my elder brother, that's the only reason I didn't say, are you okay? As in, is there something wrong with you? Like, as in, is everything all right? And all of that. And I was just very calm and all of that. And and at the end of the day, and I was asking myself, I said, oh wow, so that's actually how you sound at the other side. So that's how I used to sound. So that's how people who have worked on themselves look at you. Wow, you're really mad. Like you don't know. So your children who are not yelling, who are just looking at you like, Chai, is there something wrong with mommy? And is there something wrong with daddy? You're just there shouting. That made me sleepy. So I'm not judgmental when people yell. I'm just able to get into their shoes for where I'm coming from. So he helps me to see. He helps me to see that the Lord has delivered me indeed. And I'm like, yeah, I've been delivered. So I was actually really delivered. So it gets me to a point. So when it's just like when people are being rude and when people are being very dishonoring, I don't take offense, right? You see a lot of people coming to the new year. The news flash, dishonor is a red flag. You do it, we just keep you on one side and just watch you. Wow. And then we say, okay, you be coming. Shebi, you are coming into the yard, you will bury dishonor of any kind
Yeah.
to anybody around you. So when I see that happen, you're talking to someone who is just coming into the inner circle, and then the person goes off. Like, just what do you mean? I'm like, oh wow, this person is coming to the inner circle. Wow, your wings are about to be clipped. As we will burn it, and you shall be naked at the end of the day, and we love it. When you are done, you shall also love where you are. But so it makes it easy for you not to even judge people when you have been able to
Yeah.
walk through the journey. So you are able to actually stay. So when people do things, I don't feel agitated. I don't go saying, "Oh, you're so rude." I'm like, okay, that's the point where you are. So I'm able to look at it coming from where it is that you've been able
Mm.
to walk from that end. So while you bring in all your, and that's why you're here. So if you
Yeah.
are coming yada, you're here because there's something to be worked on. If there's, that's why you're here. You're coming in here. So the alertness, just bring the alertness. Bring it. Come as you are, but you can never remain as you are. That's one promise I can make you. Alrighty, we are watching. Oluwakemi share her journey. Someone is listening to you now and they are wondering, why do I need to join the inner circle? Is this not for people who have problems? Is this not for people who live in Nigeria?
Mm.
How do I cope? What do I do? I have a lot of work. I don't have time. All of those things. Over to you, ma'am.
I thank you. Thank you so much, Coach. Thank you. I I want to say this to everyone here that TIP is not just a parent's academy, it is a life academy. If I can borrow that word. So if you are one person who is keen on growing,
Mm.
then you would not question why. I used to be on that side of, do I really need a parent coach? I think I can learn, I can do it, or no. I used to be on that side too. And I'm one person, I don't eye people. Like, I don't even know how to eye people. Like, I things. If I see something that is, I'm very straightforward. I'll let you know that this thing you're doing well, this is good, and this is one thing. So for me to connect easily in the tier in the yard, I tell you, it's nothing. It's, if you're not here, you're the one who's missing. That's the truth. I must tell you, you're the one who's missing, because you might think you know so much, but it's better for you to begin to learn and relearn. Because you look at it, the children you want to parent, so they are learning too, so they're in the process of learning. So if they are learning, and you that is supposed to be teaching them is not learning or growing, you become obsolete, and they
Mm.
would even become better than you. They will now be
Mm.
teaching and now say, am I not your mommy? Am I your those ones? That's old school language. That's old school language. We don't say that anymore. You Before they get to your spot, you've moved.
Mm.
Before they get to your spot, you've moved. One of those
Mm.
days, and teenagers, they tell you they know everything. Now teenagers know everything. Oh. They know
Yes,
everything in this
they
world.
do.
Even if they are, in fact, this my children, even if they are wrong, they will tell you the way they will even package the untrue stories. You'll be like, it's true, because they know how to, their English is something else now. They'll package it. You'll be like, and then my daughter will like, gaslighting. I was like, so he's not even saying the truth, and he keeps a straight face. So you that you don't know, you think that these children, they've sold you. Like, in fact, they will just be waiting for the person to come and deliver you. They'll be waiting for the delivery car to deliver you, because you don't even know what's going on. So I
Mm.
must tell you, the truth is, being in the yard, is nothing. I don't want to say like that, oh, they're begging you. No, it is something that we all need as parents. If we must better parent our children, let me put it
Mm.
that we must better parent, because you know what? Let me bring it back to the Bible. You see, the devil that we are playing with is not playing.
At all.
He's not playing. As in, the devil is serious. Is seriously serious with his work, with his assignment, that he's not sleeping. Bible says, he that watches over Israel neither sleeps or slumber. That man
Number.
is not sleeping. He's not sleeping. It's just that God has an edge over him at all times, and God will always have the victory over him. However,
Mm.
if our God will have an edge over him, and God even says, get knowledge, get understanding. So what are we talking about? If God is saying you get knowledge, get understanding, it means that get knowledge so that you can have an edge over the devil. So if you think that, you know what, I don't need it, I'm too busy. Mm-mm. Let me say flood Nabia in Kotebuka's language. The flood is, oh my God, the flood. Coach, as in, when I see things here in the diaspora, and I'm like, hey, God, this flood, please do not come in a massive way.
Mm.
Flood is going to come massively. So being in the yard will provide you resources. Coach, shout out to USA yarders. The parents in the US yarders, like, it's one place where we're able to connect. There are a lot of resources. So
Yes.
sometimes you might think that, oh, it's Nigerian, mostly in Nigeria, you can't get resources. No, if you're in the US yard, oh my word, you see those free resources. US yard that they can get you one or two things. I've learned a lot, but I'm a background now. I don't talk, but I learn. And I'm always learning. I'm always eager to learn, and I'm seeing different things. So it's a one-stop shop. Like here, Walmart, you go to Walmart, you get everything, everything. So TIP is everything, everything. It will affect your marriage. Even if you're not in the couples conclave, coach will hit you with couples conclave teaching small. If you are not in girls up, and Tima and coach will join everything, you'll be like, where have I been? Coach Ebuka will come, slam everything, boom, boom, boom. So it affects every part of your life. I want to implore you, please be a part of it. I know it might be a lot. People might say, oh, it's a long year. That's where you learn consistency.
Mm.
Staying power is in staying. It is not easy to stay. It is not easy to be consistent. That's what the Bible said in 1 Corinthians 15:15. It says, be steadfast, be immovable. So there is a place of immovability. So
Yeah.
it is in you staying. It
Mm.
is not easy. I can tell you it's not easy because sometimes I have to do this, I have to do this. I'm not even able to listen. But this is one of the things I've been able to do. Sometimes in the US group, somebody will like, how do you people cope? Nobody's coping. We are all managing. Nobody's perfect. No, but we just need to keep encouraging ourselves that we can do it. Yes, we can. And the thing is, if your children cannot see you stay consistent for 1 year, and yet you
Mm.
want to preach consistency, that's been
Mm.
hypocritical. So
Mm.
we need a community where you can fall back on. You are tired, you just see somebody will not say, me, I've been tired since last year. Now be like, my own tired is even very small. Oh yeah, let's keep moving. Because that way we're encouraging one another. Sometimes I
Mm.
feel like, am I the only one who is not even keeping up to date? I realize that some people are like, I've not been there. So repeating. We are not repeating, no. We are re-energizing. We are just
Mm.
so don't see it as I'm repeating year one, I'm repeating year one. No, we're not repeating, no. We are gathering knowledge. We are just boosting ourselves up. We're boosting ourselves up. And by the time we launch out, the devil will be running. So
Mm.
the yard is like an ark. If Noah begged people to come into the ark,
Mm.
please, this is me begging. Say, come into the ark. It is worth it. Resources wise, sometimes somebody just drops something. Sometimes that's why we need the spirit of discernment. Sometimes you wake up and then coach just says something and she laughs about it. It is in the laughing that you've gotten what you need for the day.
Mm.
Laughing. Maybe that's the laugh that you need to change something in your day. And you see those tools, it becomes an everyday life. Now I see myself doing some of the things and I'll be like, I've been doing this thing, no. And when I saw the when you now see the two, you're like, I've been doing this thing, this is even now, it's not part of our life. My children will be like, Mommy, what's the task today? There's no task, oh. But they don't know that we've done task, oh. We've done the tool for the day. But there's no tool for the day because if you also make them know that it's a tool for the day, they'll be like, okay, we are rigid. No, but it has become a way of life for me. So everything is all in it together. You won't struggle if you are in it, but you must put in the work. I tell people it is work. It is work. If the devil is working,
Yeah,
if
we
he's
must work.
working, then we must work. We must do the work. It is we not understanding that parenting is work that makes us
Mm.
think, it's too stressful. It's not stressful because if you see what the devil is doing on the altar with children, you would
Mm.
you would
Mm.
wake up and say,
Mm.
Coach, you think
Mm.
this 1 year is enough? Can we do
Mm.
1 year and a half for one cohort so that we can
Mm.
be running? There's a
Mm.
lot to do. It's all encompassing, Coach. I
Mm.
don't know how else to put it. It's all encompassing. It's the best place to be. If I can, for someone like me coming in the end and say, Coach, if there's anything like if they are going to give us degree for being in the level one for forever, me, I'm ready to say, because where am I going? I'm reinforcing myself. I'm
Mm.
building structures. I'm building a structure that is going to last. Where am I running to? I'm not in
Mm.
competition with anybody. If you are in 500 level, praise God. We will meet you there someday, somehow. We will get there in Jesus' name. So we must put in the work. It is work. So if you're not ready for the work, please just make up your mind to put in the work.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. If there is a blueprint for sin, then there must be a blueprint for righteousness. I say that all the time. If you read the Bible in Ezekiel, it was Coach David who was sharing that at the Lagos summit, and he said, there was this in the sons of Ahab were gathered at the gate to actually sit down and prepare a blueprint for sin. And I
Yeah.
tell you, if there is a blueprint for sin, then we must sit down and do the work. So, all this parenting is hard, and all of that, and all of that, and all of that. It's not supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be a walk in the park. It's not, but when you have the right knowledge, you will not be weary. That's why the Bible says that the journey of the foolish man wearieth every
Yeah.
single one of them, because they
He
do
doesn't
not
even know
how
to
to
get to the
get
city.
the city. It means that the city, the way to the city is hard already, but you don't know how to get there. You weary yourself. That's what happens in parenting. Most of us are weary because we don't know how to get to the city. There is a way to the city. There is a way to the city. I love how Madam Kemi said something. She said Noah begged people to be in the ark. So it's looking like now, while we're begging you, we're begging, please come in, come in. Because I can just imagine how people used to, do news for Noah when he was saying, come into the ark, come into the ark. And that's what it is. And this ark, this thing was, Coach Ebuka actually sharing his own revelation. It wasn't just something that just came out like that. He said it was a revelation that God gave me about the inner circle. That was how he shared it, and that was what came about the ark, right? So this is actually us, being able to say to you that the inner circle, not because it's a hype. Somebody, I keep saying, people reach out to me every time and say, listen, I hope that the hype, it will be worth it. All these hype. All these hype. I'm like, when they say it, I'm like, now you go run. Oh. Don't run. Because if you run, I will chase you. You cannot run. Somebody said when they started in the beginning, when Inner Cycle started last year, December 1st, and she said, how can this woman say she will do this thing for 1 year? Like, how? She will do this thing for 1 year. Like, teach every week. Like, it's a lie. She cannot. At the middle of the week now, she will telling people she's tired. Your money is not. I say, how? You guys don't know that the power, the engine that is powering us, is not from here. It's not from here. We're powered right from the source, and that's it. And you are the one that we have. I was sitting with my big brother when the person was saying, are you sure that this hype and all of that? So my big brother who sat in front of me on that day when in a meeting, he said, can the person even cope with 1-2 resources? I had a good laugh. Kemi also mentioned about one of the beautiful things for me in the inner circle is the community, the collective intelligence. That's one of the most powerful things in the yard. Because we have people from all walks of life, name it, all walks of life, all walks, different dimensions. And when they share, just like when we're sharing, yesterday was big review. I was reading through, so many. I'm the most blessed partaker of the inner circle. You guys don't even know, because I'm able to actually tap into the head of many people.
Many.
And I was listening to those voice reviews. I was listening to all of them. I was like, I felt like writing the book. I said, Chineke na me, all this thing, the way it was dissected. I love book reviews in the inner circle. That's one of my best parts, because I love the collective intelligence that happens there. The community, right? The community, the things that you learn, the upholding, the structure that puts you there. So even if you know it, there's someone saying to you, I know you know it too, but you running. I know you know it, but you running. And you see yourself actually running. Why do you think that very powerful men are unable to replicate themselves in their offsprings? It's not because they don't know. It is because there is no structure to be able to deliver it. It often happens very often. I was reading about the story of Nelson Mandela. I was privileged to be in Cape Town, last year, and I went to Robben Island, and I was, trying to read up about Nelson Mandela. The story of Nelson Mandela was told at that tour. My children were asking a lot of questions. Where are his children? Who are they? Where are they now? You cannot actually pass on legacy in absenteeism. So if you are in absential, legacy cannot be transferred.
Yeah.
Nelson Mandela, with all he had, was an absent father. Unfortunately, even though he didn't want to, but of course it happened. And of course, that impacted in a lot of the things that happened in his generation. I remember that at his deathbed, one of the things he said, if I would do this again, I would turn it around and I would put family in front.
Mm.
And that was one of his wishes while he's on his deathbed. May we not be there lying down on our deathbed and wishing that the things we knew we were able to translate it. Now, he wasn't able to translate it not because he didn't know that he needed to, but he didn't have the structure that held him accountable to actually be able to. He didn't have, someone who, I was watching and listening to the story of Obama and the children and the daughters. And I learned that Obama started his days and started with a parent coach and a marriage coach. I said, wow, no wonder. Why do we have it differently? No wonder. It's not maybe he didn't know. Obama is an intelligent soul. But you know
Mhm.
what? He realized that where he was going, he needed help. Where he
Yeah.
was going, he needed accountability. Where he was going, he needed someone to stop him in his tracks. So he needed someone who would say, hey, you're working too much. Stop it. Hey, you need to stay with you. Oh, stop. He said sometimes coach will say, the children have not had time with you. Yes, I know you're the president of America, but you need to do something about it. And then he's able to actually, turn around and just say to himself, okay, this weekend, I cancel all my dealings. Let somebody sit in with me. I am going live with my children on a short vacation. And that's it. He shuts down. He said he
Yeah.
needed someone to be able to say to him, this thing, stop it. He needed someone to say, you're working, you're overworking. He said, I didn't want to lose my conscience about my family.
Mm.
I didn't want to lose my conscience. I didn't want to lose that thing that says, no, you have worked too much. No, you are. If you don't have anybody who is able to actually stop your tracks, you're going to lose it. And that's what happens to a lot of our pastors also. Look at them. We're there. There was something Kemi said earlier. Said, I'm a soul winner, but how about the souls in my house? What happened to them? We win souls out there. We are out there winning souls. I'm a soul winner. So, of course, I understand what it means. Sometimes my husband and I are in the field, in the week, in the morning. I know you do all that for people. You are out there, but because you really do not have somebody who stops you in your track to say, this is the way to go. And he
Mhm.
said, that singular thing changed my life. Did we have issues in our marriage? He said, when the issues are coming up, we're calling the marriage counselor to stay, sit with us. There is an issue here. We need to walk through it. I like watching documentaries a lot. I believe that in the life of men lies the success of men, and in their
Yeah.
story lies the things you will learn that can change your life. And I was watching Beckham, and I saw where at some point he said we needed to hire a marriage coach because I realized that there
Mhm.
were a lot of gaps. So no matter what it is that you're doing, where you are, where you have reached, and you do not have an accountability system, no matter what you will be stuck. And that's not because you do not know. That's not
Mhm.
also you don't stay. When you read the story of the great evangelist Oran Roberts, and at his tail end he said, I wish I had given more time to family. Same
Yeah.
thing. Same thing. Benny Hinn came back and said, no, after his divorce, he said, no, it's not God, church, and family. It is God, family, and church.
Yeah.
Because these things are core. They are core. No matter who you are, you will lose your children, you will lose your family if you do not do what it is that you're supposed to do. It's a simple thing. And in diaspora, it makes it even worse. People say that the immigrant child in diaspora, children, they say it in Nigeria a lot. Children that are raised abroad are useless. It's not true. The
Mm-mm.
problem is that it's just a collective of what you do. What happens is that abroad, culture eats you up. So you forget that you're supposed to be a
Yeah.
parent. You forget that you're supposed to do things. You forget that you're supposed to actually be a parent. And of course, while in Maryland, I think we were having that conversation. A boy was sentenced to a life imprisonment. He was
Yeah.
17. Killed a cop. You remember that story?
Yeah.
He had
Yeah. Yeah.
while we were, he was actually sentenced while we were there. He had killed a cop. His two parents were medical doctors, big time medical doctors, making all the money. He has access to everything. What did he do? He burgled a car. Why? He had access to everything. But of course, that was a child rebelling for something
Something.
simple as that. So it's not even it's not even just about, oh, I just want to work and work and work. So if you don't have someone who is telling you, can you check this, can you check this? I started in a session a few weeks ago with an Indian parent. All right, they are Indian Americans. And while we were talking, and I was like, you need to stop in your track. And then both of them sat. And I said, you have one child, but nobody's stopping your track. And you're just going, and then you are just on top and all of that. And they're like, okay. I said, you guys need to be in the parenting academy. That's why they're actually, waiting on the wait list to be in the academy. I'm sure they are watching this. And it is important that, and the man said to me, I'm in tech, I'm busy and all of that. Nobody has actually said to me, your parenting is going wrong. Most times, nobody really says that to us. Because we're high up there and nobody can actually get. Sometimes somebody has a lever to tell you. Somebody said to me that, oh, so my husband is high up there. It's only Coach Wendy that can say to my husband, you are not right, sir. And then he looks like this, and I'm like, okay, we're going to do something. You need someone to actually hold you
Oh,
and stop
yes.
you on your tracks. No matter where you are, no matter who you are. And that's what we say, that the inner circle is an equalizer. You are
Yeah.
a judge, you are a dog, wherever you are in the society, a celebrity, we are all there for one purpose. We want to
Yes.
be able to translate into our children,
Children.
right? What it is that we have. It's simple. And of course, we sit down. Everybody wants to have the kind of marriage that Obama has. Everybody want to have the kind of say, oh, his children did not have any scandal. Oh, the American president, he did not. There was work done. May we not forget that there is work to be done.
Walk. Yes,
May
ma'am.
we not forget that there is something to be done. As we begin to close on this session, Emmy, what would be your last words to people who are listening to us and wondering, what is this really about? Over to you.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you so much. It's been so mind-blowing. I really want to appreciate you, Ma, for this opportunity. And to round up to just say my last word, I want to bring perspective to something so that this will make more sense to us. One of these days, my son, because he just got into the high school and he was struggling. Why I'm saying this is so that we can understand what TIP would do for you as a parent. And so I think one of his classes, he got a low grade. So I went to pick him up at the bus stop and I was like, hey, what's up? What's wrong with you? And he was like, I don't feel good. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Are we okay? And he said, I don't think I'm doing well in my class. And I was like, okay, so what's going to happen? He said, I got a 67. I said, that's not bad. And he looked at me like, that's not bad. I say yes, it's your name now. Like we already have this conversation that if you fail, is your name on the diploma. It's not my name. So nothing is going to happen. I'm not going to. So while we got home, this is just to help us as parents so that we understand that we all need help. Oh, we need help. We got home and he was telling his younger sister and he was like, oh, I got a 67. And then she was like, oh, I know you can do better next time. Guess what? And I told him, I said, why are you stressing yourself about it? Because I'm coming from a place of understanding that I need to be calm so I can help and support and connect with my kids, which TIP is going to offer you. Guess what my son told me? And I was shocked. He said, Mommy, I know it's not you. He said, my friends at school, because they saw my grade, all of them kept saying, yo, your African mom is going to really whoop you because that's what African parents do to their kids when they don't do well. And you know what my son told them? He said, no, my mom is not that kind of person. My mom doesn't even, she's not going to say anything about rather she's just going to be like, well, that's on you. So you need to step up your game. What am I saying is, and he said his friend told him, I said, no, are you sure your mom is African? And he told him, said, yes, my mom is African. Because every time every time he tries to call me, they would be expecting to hear hello, hello, hello. So they're always like, your mom doesn't talk like an African. The reason why I'm saying this is my last word. If you've not learned anything, TIP works. It works, it works, it works. As TIP is working, it is working because individuals are putting in the work. These testimonials we are telling you, it's not easy. I can tell you the fact. It's not easy putting everything together. It's not easy even implementing. But if you're committed to it, and that is what Masterpiece taught me, we are a work in progress. We can't get there, but we will get there. With work and with God, we will get there. And so, Coach, thank you so much, ma. I really appreciate you, ma. God bless you.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you, Oluwakemi. Of course, you know that I love you and you know that I honor you. Thank you for being
Thank
here.
you so much, ma.
I mean, my love to the family and to Pastor. Shout
Yes,
out to
ma'am.
him. All right. Tell
Thank
him that while he's sleeping, that we a whole lot.
Man was working. The man was working.
Was working. Why is he? Tell him that those are the words that I use. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank
And
you, ma. Thank you so much, ma. Thank you, ma. Really appreciate you, ma.
now, thank you. We just had Oluwakemi Okegbenro, who shared with us her journey in the inner circle. Amazing journey, amazing. So these are real parents, real journey, real everything. You want to join the inner circle. The inner circle is an annual program of the Intentional Parents Academy that guides you, holds you accountable, stops you on your track, teaches you what it is that you need to do. Oh yes, you cannot achieve those decisions you want to make. If you make them without a prerequisite structure, it will fail. Somebody in the comment section, give Kemi her flowers. She's been here since 3 a.m. sharing her journey. She's in Virginia, USA. So if you're asking, I'm in diaspora, are you sure that this will work for me? Oh, it works for everybody. The standard, thing for everybody all over the world. It's the same principle. You can apply it. You are taught to apply it in your own space the way it should be. And there are too many benefits in the inner circle that we cannot continue to actually just push out and say, oh, this is what you learn, this, and all of that. But it is what it is, right? We're begging you like Noah, come into the ark. And that's one of the most important things that you need to do is 100,000 naira per year. It looks like, oh, 100,000 naira, but it's 230,000 naira per day. For those who drink Coke every day, can't buy you Coke in this time. And for those of us who do not believe you should be drinking Coke, convert it and just put it. Somebody said to me, I save 500 naira every day so I can pay for my inner circle fee and another, she was like, whoa, you're like, coach, because it's easy for me to be able to actually do that. And I realized that it's not such a big amount of money. And I realized that I can't pay 500 naira for things I learn every day. So that's a good way to actually do the math. And of course, put a lot of things in perspective. I am particularly excited about this, this coming year's inner circle. Of course, if you have people who have been in the inner circle for the past 5 years, it means that there's something in the inner circle that keeps evolving. There's something in the inner circle that actually changes. There's something in the inner circle that keeps people here. If people have been here, Kemi said she's been here since 2020. People have been here. She said, see, I'm one of those people that will be getting certificate for being in level 1 forever. You guys should be going on here. If people have been here and they say, I am going to be here, then something is really happening here. It's not just about me. It is about the things that happen, to each and every one of us. And I see that the inner circle program touches you and reaches you at the point of need. What is your need? Come in. You will find it right in the yard. I can assure you that that is going to really happen to you. It doesn't matter where you are in your journey, whether your children are grown or they are young. Wherever you are, come in. Even if you do not have a child yet, Kemi said something. I started the journey with myself. That's where I started because I needed reparent myself. That's the first place you need to start. Come in and reparent yourself. I am really looking forward to being your coach. That person who will tell you, hey, stop there. I know how to do it very well. I ask questions. And you're wondering, how are you going to do that with thousands of people? Effortlessly too. You will see me in your house somehow. It's called the spirit of just let me perfect. Yeah. So yes, you will see me right in your corner. And if you do anyhow, you will see me. I will just appear and you will just give you. So the accountability is so solid. Trust me, because this is done in partnership with the Holy Spirit himself. So he will come before me and come to you and make it happen. My name is Wendy Ologe. I am still effortlessly your number one parent coach, effortlessly, right? I look forward to seeing you right in the yard. Make sure that you get your fee in. The Inner Circle Next program starts on the 1st of December, 2024. If you can't get in, you can't get in again next year. It's standard, constant K. You cannot get it. You can only get in this year, 1st of December. If you can't get in 1st of December, you can't get in again until 1st of December 2025. Admission is once a year. Yarders, are you ready for today's webinar? See you in the yard. Oshe, come ready. If you're not ready, don't come with. I promise you, this particular webinar today will hit every fabric. I'm not even mincing words. Every fabric of your being, every single fabric. Yeah, you're looking at it. It will be like, you're going to chest it, but you guys are okay now. You guys have been chesting bullets since the beginning of the year. Come on, what are you talking about? Are you guys afraid? Can you guys be afraid? Come on, let's go there. Alrighty, I see you. I see you, all of you. Professor Chris Okegbenro, Ogomwa. I see you, Onome. I see you. Can married women join the conclave with us? But yes, please, you can send a chat to them, and they actually can, work that out with you. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I really do appreciate you. It is 1 hour 30 minutes, and you're here. Good. You want to continue to see me talk? Get into the yard. That's where you see me talk every day and share all of those stories that you will miss. See you in the yard. Yarders, see you in the yard. Come, let's be going. It's okay. Bye.